Yo, it's about time to get it. Man, we got the game on in here, cuz. Let me mute that. What's crack-a-lackin'? Get money. I don't know why I always say that. I'm always broke. I don't know. Like, it sounds good. Like, if I was like a hype man, like I'm in the background, like, yeah, get money. You know, but really not getting no fucking money. I don't know. Trying to get the show to kick in. Hey, encoder started, baby. Let's get it. Let the music play, man. They listen to that old school Trigger Trace songs, role play. What's up, everybody, man? It's your man, Meemkle Jackson. I'm in the house tonight. Ooh, excuse me. I stay burping on this shit. I'm so nasty. But fuck it. It's my show. Yeah, man. It's Thursday, December 5th. I'm live from the spot. We got a handful of some things to talk about today. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gassed. I'm hella tired, but I'm gonna finish the rest of my tea. I'm gonna get this energy, and then we gonna get it going, man. See my shirt, man? I'm lit. But yeah, Thursday, December 5th, you are tuned into the Meemkle Jackson show. We got the music playing for a little bit, then I'm gonna intro this thing, then I'm gonna come back and talk to y'all like I normally do, and then we'll get into it. Yeah, right now I'm just watching the Dallas Cowboys get their ass whooped by the Chicago Bears on Thursday Night Football. Dallas, man, what happened in Dallas? Everybody was talking about they was going to the Super Bowl. Shit, these niggas going to the toilet bowl. Wildin'. They're about to have back-to-back Thursday night losses. That's crazy. Because, you know, my Buffalo Bills beat them on Thanksgiving. Easy win. Bills Mafia. Man, okay, here we go. Oh, don't do nothing stupid. Oh, there you go, there you go, there you go. Anyways, I'm tripping. Yeah, we got a lot to get into today, man. Let me cue up my stuff, man. We'll get ready. Yo, we got a couple of funny things, and then we got some serious things. And one of the serious things is, and I'm actually, there's a part of me that's a little bit glad that this popped up now that I have this platform, because I've always kind of wanted to give my take on George Zimmerman. I feel like I've kind of done that, you know, in private conversations in prior years. You know, I mean, basically saying he's a sucker, all that. But I feel like now would be a good time to kind of just discuss how scumbaggy of a human this dude is. So we're going to get into that for sure. That's probably what we're going to start off with. Might talk about that for a good little minute. I'm going to ramble my ass off just because I just have a million thoughts and things that I want to say about this shit. But because he's a cornball, man. Everything about that situation and what he did was so corny, and then all this, like the things that he's done since then, is all that shit is corny. You know, he's just somebody that's seeking attention. He feels like the world owes him something, and he I don't think he takes it serious, the fact that he, you know, tore a young man away from his family. Like, even when you hear the 911 call, he like calls the cops to let them know that he like sees what he believes to be as a suspect of some sort. And then he's like, I'm gonna follow him. And the cops are like, no, don't follow him. We got it. And he does it anyway. And then he kills him. He's like somebody that can't follow directions. He doesn't, I don't know, he just doesn't know how to function with the rest of us. The guy's a fucking idiot. That's all I gotta say. Until after I intro the show, and then we dive into it, and then I'm gonna say more. Yo. Let me cut that off, man. Welcome. I am your host, Meemkle Jackson. You are now tuned into the Meemkle Jackson show. We got the music playing. I'm just introing this shit, man, and then we're gonna get back into it after the song plays. So, welcome. Like I said, I'm happy that you tuned in with me. If you're working late or you're putting the kids to bed, or whatever it is you're doing, and you decided to tune into this, I appreciate you. I love you. I hope all is well. So we're going to let the rest of this Bryson Tiller play, and then we're going to get back into the actual show. It is a lit. So, just intro the show real quick, and then we'll get into it. Get money. Gotta queue up all my stuff, man. We're gonna start. Well, we're actually gonna start with a couple of random things, and then I'll get into the Zimmerman shit. Let me go in on that first, and then we'll get into the other stuff. Because I want to say some of this shit while it's fresh on my mind. You know what I'm saying? So, I didn't make the fantasy football playoffs in a lot of my leagues, so I'm very disappointed. I'm watching one of the guys now. Sorry for that awkward-ass pause. You're probably going to be looking at me like, yo, is this nigga on? Like, is he cracked out? No. I'm looking at this play because it's like one of the few guys that I have playing this week, and he plays for the Bears. And I don't ever get to see him play during the season, so I'm wondering to myself if I made a mistake starting him. Too early to tell, but at least they're winning, man. I don't know. I want to see Dallas lose, but I'm in the playoffs in one of my leagues, and he's playing on that team. I need him to actually do well, but I can't tell if he is or not. Anyways, here we go. We got less than a minute, and then we're going to get it. Get money. So we got the George Zimmerman thing. We got, this is crazy. I see a story where this lady, she's on an oxygen tank, still smoking. I guess she goes outside to have a cigarette, lights the cigarette, and the tank explodes. That shit is crazy, bro. Poor lady, man. R.I.P. R.I.P. for real. Because can you imagine that? You're already on oxygen. You're too stubborn to put the cigarettes down, and then that thing actually kills you, but not due to any type of form of lung cancer or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she did have that, but it kills you via explosion. That's crazy. Lock in the mic. Here we go. Man, let me cut that off, man. Here we go. You are now tuned into the Meemco Jackson Show. I appreciate you tuning in with me live on Track Talk Radio. I'm here every Tuesday and every Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, like I said, thank you for tuning in. Man, we got a wild show for you tonight, man. We had a good show on Tuesday. We talked about a lot of random things. Nothing that was like overly important. I think the one thing that I've still been talking to people about that we talked about on Tuesday's show was that last little article that I read. It wasn't really an article. It was just a random post. There was no name on it. I don't know where it came from. Who knows if it's even real. But just the thing about the dad hating his kids, man. That shit was crazy. Oh, my God. The Bears scored again. It's over for the Cowboys. Cowboys suck. Sorry about that. But we talked about that little post where it was basically saying the dad was saying how much he hated his family, or he resented his wife for basically forcing him to be involved with their children. And like it was like a whole thing, man. And that shit it rubbed me the wrong way. Even after the show, probably spent a good like hour and a half talking about it. I'm not gonna say it was hard to sleep, but it's definitely been something that's on my mind over the last couple days. Is like, why do people have kids if they don't actually plan to take care of them, or if they don't want to? And why is it that we let other adults force us into positions to where like they get to put ultimatums on us? And why do we cave to that type of pressure? Why are we not all under the same understanding that like everybody's their own person, they all get to make their choices, and ultimately they can do whatever they want? And honestly, as long as you communicate and you give people the opportunity to make their choice, like you should be at peace with whatever decision that they opt to make. because ultimately it's the decision that they are making. Like, that's not in your control. So I think people, a lot of times, they use ultimatums to try to control people. But it's like, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to feel like you have control over another human? I have no desire to do that. I have a hard enough time controlling things in my own life. I don't have time to control your life too. That shit sounds corny to me. But there's a lot of people out there, and there's probably people listening to this shit who are like those. They're those type of people. And look, it doesn't make you a bad person. I just think it might just mean you have some maybe there's some issues that you need to resolve. I don't know how you get to that point. I'm not gonna automatically just say, oh, well, you need help, or you're crazy, you're possessive, you're all these things. Like, I'm not gonna do that. You might just not be in a place mentally to comprehend and understand that everybody has their choices, and that no matter what their choice is, it's not likely that it will kill you. It might hurt you in those moments, but if you can make peace with that fact that everybody has their choices to make, ultimately you'll be okay. I think some people feel like they think they're gonna just be so devastated by a decision that somebody makes that they want to force them into making a decision that will make them comfortable. So like, you think about me reading that letter, and we're talking about, the fact that the guy resents his wife for them having the children, and he feels like she gave him an ultimatum and all that type of stuff. And it's like, she probably did that just to make herself feel a little bit more comfortable within their situation. Because she must have had a feeling, because if she didn't have a feeling, she wouldn't have given him an ultimatum. But she must have had a feeling or something that he was not a willing participant in their situation. So she decided to apply force. And obviously that made him feel some type of way about her. And then, obviously feeling some type of way towards his children. So my thing would be, why even waste your time giving another human an ultimatum? Understand that human is going to make their choice. Like, yeah, it might have put her in a bad space. You end up having 2 kids, you're by yourself, doing the single mom thing. Yeah, that shit is hard. But like, that's just not going to kill you, because people find ways. Like, my mom found a way. I know so many of my homegirls are single moms. They're finding ways and they're crushing that shit. But I think in those moments, if people feel like they're about to lose, they're not looking at it as like, oh, I'll be able to bounce back from this. It's not a big deal. You're taking it so personal because there's so much that's unknown. And then there's the whole thing about change, and nobody likes that shit. And so you tend to panic. And so a lot of people, if they have the opportunity to put somebody in a situation where they're, forced to choose, I'll pick me or pick this or da 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 da. It's like a lot of people opt for that because it makes them feel better, especially if they can, somewhat persuade the person to choose the option that they're hoping for. But you just have to know that at the end of the day, the person might feel like, they might be on there talking about how they hate being with you and hate their kids and all this. I mean, that shit is crazy and it's horrible. And that's what kept me up and had me thinking about. I was thinking about how horrible that shit is. But at the same time, that's my nigga's reality. That's his reality. He's not on board with his situation. And it makes it tough for him, because then you're having to look at those children. You're having to look at your wife, and you feel some type of way. So like, I don't agree with it, but I guess I can understand it. I wouldn't be like, oh, you're a complete trash bag because you said this. It's just how he feels, and he has his choices to make. Obviously, he's still choosing to like be present, but it's just in a shitty capacity. Because when I read the thing off, it basically says something where it's like, he's like, I take care of them, and basically he's doing the bare minimum because he doesn't want them to have a shitty life. And so I guess for him, he thinks, well, as long as I'm just here and I'm just doing the bare minimum, it'll save them from what we deem as a shitty life. It's like, but homie, if you're not actually invested and the connection is not real and it's not genuine, like, you're probably doing them an equal disservice, like, even just by being there. Like, you might as well just sign those papers, sign over their rights, and just bump out. Like, they're probably better off not having you there. Now, if it's a matter of like finances, like, I get it. Like, nobody wants to be broke. Like, my mom didn't have a lot of money. I mean, she was broke all the damn time. It's black problems. But it's world problems. It's people problems. There's a lot of people that don't have money. They don't have finances. They don't have the same type of resources that, a lot of other people have. And so maybe he's in a position where he has a lot of resources so he can keep his kids happy, help, afford them opportunities, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, it's like all that shit is cool, but like when your kids get to that age where they start to like get in a space where they can address their own traumas and their own thoughts and their own feelings, they're going to have a lot of questions and you're not going to be able to answer them. And some of their questions are going to be like, why weren't you as involved as you could have been? And why did you just do this? Like, and if it's just to like kind of keep us in a space of being comfortable, you know, but without giving any type of real love and affection, all that type of shit, it's like, they're going to question you about those things. Like, why even want to put yourself in that situation? Like, you can avoid that. Like, you don't have to have sex with that girl, bro. Like, or when she gives you that ultimatum, you can say, look, I can see why you want to do this, but I'm not down for that. So this is what I'm going to do. And like, don't allow somebody to guilt trip you if you know you feel a certain type of way. Because like, damn, you're like letting these kids grow up and it's year after year after year after year. And like, you don't give a shit about them. Like, and so you're just like, you're basically wasting their time and yours. If you hate your situation so much, just walk away from it. And everybody has to be okay with that because that's your choice. You know what I'm saying? People have to remember that. People have their choices. They're going to do what they choose to do. There's not a whole lot you can do about that. So that was something that we talked about on Tuesday's show. Again, I led off the show by saying I plan to ramble a lot tonight. You know why? Because it's Thursday. We're getting ready to dive in the weekend. I'm pretty sure that I'm starting to get sick. I haven't been able to breathe very well. You know, it's cold. Everybody's coughing on everything and all that kind of shit, man. So I can feel it coming on. So I might be in ramble mode because when I start to feel a little drowsy and all that type of shit, I just start talking. Just like now. But yo, let's get to a couple of these little articles. So this shit right here was crazy, man. And honestly, I'm not shocked. It's just another example of a police officer abusing their power. But we got an LAP officer who is allegedly caught on a body camera fondling a corpse. My man. Why? 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 Why are you fondling a corpse, bro? There's so many living girls walking around that'll let you fondle it and then they'll fondle it back. But yet you're waiting until you're on your shift. You don't have enough self-control to wait until you get off of your shift to try to do your best Donald Trump impression and grab at some pussy. That's crazy to me. My man is literally caught on his body cam fondling a corpse. So, let me read this shit. I'm tripping. An officer with the Los Angeles Police Department is under investigation after his body camera allegedly caught him fondling the body of a dead woman. The officer and his partner were responding to a call about a possible dead body in a residential unit, sources told the Los Angeles Times, which first reported the incident. The officers determined that the woman was dead, and while one officer went to get something from the patrol car, the accused officer turned off his body-worn camera and allegedly fondled the deceased woman's breast. That's all he did was grab some titties. Come on, man, you risking your job just to grab some titties. Bro, you're in Los Angeles, bro. There's gotta be strip clubs all over the place. It's more than likely because a lot of times weirdos that do this are already married. You probably got a wife at home. And she probably got a pair of titties. But my man wants to wait until he goes to work while he has a department issue body camera attached to him while he works. And you know what that's for? They say it's for us, you know, but it's really for them. It's for their own safety and their own protection. You know, that way if something is to ever happen while they're on the job, we have evidence that you didn't do it, right? That's why they have those things, right? But my man is still doing illegal, nasty shit while on the job. Why are you putting your job at risk to fondle some dead titties? RIP, excuse my language. But still, shit is crazy. Though the camera was turned off before the incident, it was captured by the 2-minute buffer on the device. Oh my God, so fam turned it off and then it's still recording for another 2 minutes? Jesus Christ. The department is aware of the incident and an internal investigation has been launched. I'm sorry, you probably listening to me like, yo, why is my nigga laughing? I'm only laughing because I like to find the humor in every situation. I'm mainly laughing at him for how stupid he is. I am not laughing at the fact that he's a disgusting pervert who is using his power and using that little gun and that badge that he has to do some creepy shit. And even worse, that he's doing it to a deceased woman, man. Shit, even in the afterlife, she can't get no fucking peace. Niggas can't keep their hands to themselves. And I've made it very clear on the show that I think shit like that is corny. So I am not laughing at the fact that he did that. I'm laughing at him for being a fucking loser. I just want to make that clear. Oh my God. This is a quote. If the allegation is true, then the behavior exhibited by this officer is not only wrong, but extremely disturbing and does not align with the values we as police officers hold dear. And these values include respect, reverence for the deceased. Did that need to be said? Like, yeah, come on, man. You should have respect for all bodies, living and deceased. Jesus Christ. And then says this behavior has no place in law enforcement. Well, apparently your man thinks that it does because he was doing it. A 2-minute buffer. So even when they turn it off, that motherfucker's still recording. And they caught it on tape. So I don't understand why they keep saying allegedly. Y'all caught him on tape. He's on the tape doing it. It's not allegedly, he did it. Don't try to help him save face, man. Get the fuck out of here. That shit is crazy, bro. And it's Los Angeles. There's a lot of people in Los Angeles. There's so many people walking around. And my man wants to feel on the deceased girl's titties. It's crazy. Niggas are creeps, bro. They really are. If you guys are ever wondering why girls call us trash and scumbags and all of these things, it's because of people like this. When you hear these stories, think about the lengths that some men will go to try to put their hands on girls, even when they're dead. Even when they're dead. It's unbelievable. You nasty mother... It's crazy, man. But you know what else is crazy? I learned this the other day. I saw that, and I don't know if this is real, and I actually know some people who work for this company. So my old roommate in Florida, Mr. Daryl Hunter, Trav, I need all of you guys to confirm this for me. I read this article where it says Walmart is facing backlash, and this is from a couple weeks ago, right around, well, not couple, last week, whenever Thanksgiving was. It says Walmart is facing backlash for offering employees discounts instead of holiday pay. So obviously we are rolling into the holiday season, and a lot of us, we work jobs where we do receive paid holidays. Now, I would like to confirm if Walmart is really being this grimy or if this article is not true. It pretty much says, and this is in Los Angeles, says, many people on social media expressed outrage and urged others to boycott Walmart because the retail giant reportedly does not pay its employees overtime for working the holidays and instead offers them a small in-store discount. Now, I don't know how many of you have ever really shopped at a Walmart, but you kind of know how it goes. Walmart usually only has 1 to 2 registers open. The self-checkout hardly ever works. And there's always about 10 to 15,000 people in there screaming, arguing, doing all that. Can you imagine a Black Friday at a Walmart? I mean, Walmart literally has its own website for weirdos. When you can see how crazy a Walmart can get. And there ain't a lot of staff to begin with. So if you are an employee and you're working at Walmart, I can't imagine how offended they would be or how offended I would be because it says they're only offering a 10% and 15% in-store discount for working the holidays. So instead of giving pay, overtime pay specifically, you're asking some of your employees to work like a Black Friday sale and not get the money. You're giving them like a 10 and sometimes maybe even a 15% in-store discount. That seems weird. You want them to deal with all those asshole people out there that are killing each other for 50-inch TVs and shit like that. You want them to do that, but you're not willing to pay them. All you want to give them is an in-store discount, fam. I need to hear if this is really true. Because if so, I feel like that's grimy. So I can see why people would want to boycott Walmart. Because think about the amount of money that Walmart makes on a daily basis. Think about the amount of years Walmart has been in business. And that family. What are they, the Waltons? I think that's what their last name is. Think about that family and how much money they get. You mean to tell me you can't pay your employees overtime? Would you even want to come back to work after a Black Friday or after, the month of December? All the days you're probably working, helping with Christmas sales and restocking shelves and getting everything ready and all that. Would you even want to go back if they were like, yo, sorry guys, we're not offering overtime, but if any of y'all want not even like online, they said in-store discount. So you can go in after all the vultures have gotten everything and then try to use your discount on some shit that you don't need. I feel like that's the ultimate slap in the face. The 15% discount is only available for employees during 2 days in December, according to a flyer that, oh my God, that this publication obtained, excuse me. This is crazy. And a quote from Walmart: "We simplified our paid time off policies in 2016 to combine vacation, holidays, sick, and personal time into one bucket. As part of that change, we no longer offer holiday pay. Overtime pay is not legally required for people who work on weekends, holidays, or regular days of rest unless overtime is worked on such days." Yo! You know what, Walmart? Well, I mean, unless you're trying to give me a deal or something, you ain't the move. I mean, I ain't shopped in Walmart in mad long anyway. I ain't gonna say fuck Walmart because, they do have good deals on deodorant and toothbrushes and shit like that, and that's where I buy my underwear at. But otherwise, Walmart serves absolutely no purpose for me. So if they're mistreating their employees like that, and honestly, any of you front office Walmart corporate niggas, you need to start going to your own stores every now and again and seeing what some of these people go through. There's 2 Walmarts in America that are specifically hot garbage. One is the Walmart in Pensacola, Florida on Creighton. That Walmart is terrible and probably should be quarantined and then burned and condemned. It's so horrible. And then also the Walmart in Renton, Washington, the biggest piece of shit in America. Worst Walmart I've ever been to in my life. Y'all got to get these people some help. And if you're not going to get them some help, you need to make sure that they're paid their overtime. And not just for 2 dusty ass days in December, man. Don't work these people to death so you can continue to drive your Mercedes and do all of that type of bullshit and not pay them no money, man. That's grimy. You're going to end up having people walk out on you for that type of shit. That's all this is. These corporate companies, man, they find ways to keep their pockets laced while they make sure other people stay broke. And they overwork y'all to do it, man. This shit is crazy. So, no shout out to Walmart. Walmart kind of sucks, man. And not just because of this situation, but mainly because of the fact that even when y'all see like 10,000 people in there, you got half your staff walking around, not doing nothing, not opening registers, man. That's some bullshit. And of course, the one guy I got starting in fantasy who plays for the Chicago Bears just fumbled. And I'm in the playoffs. This is bullshit. getting upset, man. All you had to do was go down. You don't have to keep fighting for every yard. And then you end up fumbling, costing me points. Shit, what else we got, man? We threw the first 30 minutes. All right, let's get to this story about, this is crazy. The woman who's on the oxygen tank smokes a cigarette and then the tank blows up. Let's read this. Oh my God. A 61-year-old North Carolina woman was killed Tuesday when her oxygen tank exploded. Jesus freaking Christ. She was smoking a cigarette while hooked up to the tank. That's not advised. Her husband called 911 to report the resulting fire. Jesus. Says, while death by oxygen tank explosion is relatively rare, given the number of tanks in use today, experts agree that smoking near one ups the odds enormously. Nah, really? Come on, man. This is crazy. Listen, any of you people who are listening, I know there's some older folks that listen to my show, and I'm not even playing about that. I have literally been told that we do have some older people who do tune into this show every single week. So, I appreciate you guys. Love you to death, obviously. But listen, if you're on an oxygen tank, you can't smoke a cigarette while you're hooked up to that thing. It can explode. I understand that maybe as you get older, you're getting to that point where, you know, you've been here a good little while. And I get it. Maybe time's starting to maybe time out on you a little bit. But I don't think you should speed up the process of death by smoking a cigarette while you're hooked up to your oxygen tank. That's not advised. Be smarter than that, please. But RIP to that woman. And, you know, heart goes out to her husband. Man, imagine your wife's just out on the front porch smoking a cigarette hooked up to her oxygen tank, and then bam, you hear a loud bang and it's an explosion, and then she's on to the next life. That's crazy. All because she's smoking a cigarette. Wow, man, you gotta set the cigarettes. Cigarettes are bad for your health, literally. But look, man, it's 7:30. We are through the first half hour of the Meaningful Jackson show. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to dive into some music. What we got? We're about to have some 50 Cent play. I got some Bill Bev DeVoe about to play that Above the Rim, maybe some Drake. And then we're going to come back and we're going to dive into this George Zimmerman topic, man. George Zimmerman, you may remember him as the guy who outright killed Trayvon Martin for absolutely no reason, somehow was acquitted. He's had multiple fuck-ups since that situation happened. And then as of the other day, he's decided to come out and he would like to sue the Martin family for $100 million. Yeah, you heard it. The guy who killed their son for no reason is now suing them for no reason. So when we get back, we're going to dive into that shit. So listen to this music. Again, thank you for tuning in. You are now listening to the Meaningful Jackson Show. We're on Track Talk Radio every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's lit. Man, fam, I will tell you, my eyes are tired as hell. I feel like I've barely slept over the last couple of days. Still watching this game. At the time I'm recording, when I'm watching this, is 24-7. Bears are up. Both teams are 6-6. This is a big game for the Cowboys. This is a whatever game for the Bears because the Bears just kind of suck. It is what it is. But the Cowboys don't look great, man. They're about to go into the fourth quarter. I mean, they are in the red zone right now about to score, but, well, at least I thought they were. They got stopped again. But, yeah, George Zimmerman, let's see. He's suing the family and Florida prosecutors for $100 million, claiming they engineered false evidence in his homicide trial for shooting dead an unarmed black teen in 2012. 2012, fam, and we're still having to deal with this clown, man. I figured by now he'd have been in jail or would have had his ass whooped so bad that he just would have felt like going away and being quiet, but he's still here. Still here, still kicking strong. He's such a loser. Like one of the biggest scumbags on the planet. I'm really feeling the word scumbags tonight. I don't know why. It's just got a nice ring to it. But Zimmerman, man. I want to try to get away from like being the guy that's on the show or on the air and like kind of threatening people's lives and shit. I'm trying not to do that. So I don't want to say that I wish harm on him. I just feel like I don't like you, George. That's as far as I'm gonna go. Because the things that I want to say, I have to remember that as this starts to grow and take off, you can't say all that shit. But yeah, I don't like him. I think it's for good reason. I think most of us don't like him because of how stupid he was. He didn't have to shoot the kid. Even if he felt like things were suspicious. When you called 911, you should have let the cops just deal with it. Instead, you tried to play hero. You made a bad decision and you killed that young boy for no damn reason. And now you're suing the family. Jesus. 100 million though. Imagine if he's able to like get anything at all. 100 million. Fucking wild, bro. Fucking Zimmerman. All right, what else we got? Yo, I want to talk about Kid Rock too. That's such a random person to bring up on the show. We're going to talk about Kid Rock. I used to think Kid Rock, like he's not somebody that I would, like, I don't listen to his music, never really have. I know the one song, what is it? I'm trying to be a cowboy, baby, or something. Like, I know that, I remember that song. But the one thing I do remember about Kid Rock is that the way he entered music was that he tried to be a rapper in Detroit, because he's from Detroit. So M was not like the first prominent white rapper. It was actually Kid Rock. And then because, like, basically I want to say that like labels or somebody had essentially told him that he was not going to be, a good rap act, that he switched to that like alternative country music type of style. And that's how he became Kid Rock or whatever. So it's weird that he started in the beginning kind of riding the same wave that, that African Americans ride. He was trying to be a little rap star dude. But it's clear that he's like not a fan of minorities at all. He hates Oprah. He's been disrespecting her. And then apparently he came out, I guess this was today. I read this thing where it said Royce the 5'9" had to tell Kid Rock to shut the F up. And I guess there was some restaurant that he invested in, but he said some tweet where it says something like, it says, Kid Rock on Detroit restaurant closing. I guess millions I pumped into that town was not enough. And I think people from Detroit are really just tired of Kid Rock and his corny ass attitude. I kind of think it's funny, man, because it's hard to take somebody like him seriously. Like, even though I know he's famous and has money, he just seems like that dusty ass dude that, like, if you saw him on the street and he got too close, you'd be like, hey man, chill out, man, I have to knock you out, bro. And then he would like say something dumb and then you'd end up like knocking him out. He seems like he'd just be somewhere like drunk all day at like a convenience store. Like, he has that type of vibe to me. So anything that Kid Rock does, I just laugh at that shit. The guy's a fucking weirdo. All right, man, we about to jump back in. Let's get it. Woo. Boy, my eyes are tired. Turn that off, huh? Let's jump back into it. Welcome, welcome, welcome again. You are now tuned into the Meaningful Jackson Show. I am your host, Meaningful Jackson. Yo, I can't believe it. 2012, we were informed that this young teenager had been killed by some fucking goof for no reason. This goof's name was George Zimmerman. Fast forward to 2019, George Zimmerman has decided to sue the family of the young boy that he murdered and the prosecutors for $100 million. It says that he's claiming they engineered false evidence in his homicide trial for shooting dead an unarmed black teen in 2012. You know how fucked in the head you gotta be to want to sue the family of the person you killed, murdered, eliminated. You have to be insane to want to do that. Now, we all know that over the past few years, George has done many corny things. I think he's been arrested multiple times, had issues with women, drugs, and firearms, and money, like anything that you could think of, he's probably been involved in it in a negative capacity. And so now he's trying to do this type of shit. And I think this is just, it's so pathetic, man. And it almost kind of hurts to see. And I understand that it's his right and he's able to file paperwork just like anybody else. And his cries have to be heard too. But it's corny that anyone would even entertain this shit. Like, fam, I know that you were accidentally acquitted or whatever the case may be, but you murdered that kid and we all fucking know it. We all know that you murdered him. And now you want to sue? $100 million in civil damages for defamation and abuse of civil process and conspiracy. You think they conspired against you? No, you killed that kid. So, like, you had what was coming to you. You're lucky that they acquitted you. But now you're broke. You're on your ass. You look like a damn fool over the last few years. And you've just decided that, why would I can't get a job anywhere because everybody knows who I am. They know I'm this fat loser who had nothing better to do than to follow a kid around a neighborhood and then just decide to, exact my own justice against him and fucking use a firearm for no damn reason. Everybody knows that I'm that fucking idiot, so I can't get a job. I can't get girls unless I pay them. Like, life is shit. What else do I got to do? Well, it would be nice to go vacation on an island for the rest of my life and not have to worry about anything. How do I get enough money to do that? Oh, let me just sue the family of the boy that I killed. That'll probably work. And maybe if I throw the city in there, we can raise the money up, because I'm sure that black family does not have $100 million sitting around, but the city has some. So we'll sue them and we'll sue the family. Hopefully I get the money, and then hopefully I'll be able to go on vacation for the rest of my life. Maybe that's what he thinks. God, he's a piece of shit. Even when I see his picture, this be you can just look at him and tell, like, this dude's a sucker. And I wish on everything that somebody would have kicked his ass to the point where it would have been, as they say, touch and go. If you've ever heard that phrase used on any type of show, whether it's like they're at a hospital, touch and go usually implies that it can go either way. Maybe he's going to die, maybe he's not. And I think for this guy, I think it'd be warranted. It would be okay. He doesn't need to be out here with the rest of us, man. He's a cornball. And to think, man, after all these years, you're still disrespecting and hurting this family because you have nothing better to do. And your life sucks and hasn't amounted to anything. So for you, it's easy to tear down other people. It's pathetic, man. George Zimmerman, this guy is such a loser. If you are not familiar with this case, you should go look it up. Maybe we should dedicate an entire show just to this case. We can read articles and testimonies and, maybe even review some video footage or something. Maybe we should do that. It's worth it too. It's worth it to take a look at all of these things. If you've ever heard the 911 call, the guy, this fucking idiot, this guy calls the police, right? Obviously he's talking to him, he's letting him know, he kind of gives him the description, and he's following the guy. And I think he tells the guy on the other line, like, I'm going to follow him. And the guy goes, nah, you don't have to do that. We have people on the way. Basically saying, like, no, let our officers handle it. And he still chooses to follow. He still does it, even though they tell him not to do it. And then he kills him. And then I think he tries to say that it was a self-defense thing, because I think they scuffled a little bit. But bro, there wouldn't have been a scuffle. You wouldn't have, even if you did fear for your life, you wouldn't have even been in that situation if you would have just done what you were told, which is just back the fuck up. You didn't have to follow him. You could have done as you were instructed. You put in the call. You saw what you thought was suspicious activity. You called the emergency line. They put people on the case. They sent the cops to your location. That's their job. That's not your job just because you're a part of the homeowners association or whatever the case may be. Or maybe you thought you were the one protecting the neighborhood. That's not your job, bro. You were just supposed to live in the neighborhood. You weren't supposed to police it. That's what the police do. But either way, he chooses to do what he wants to do because everybody has their choices, right? He follows, they scuffle, he kills. That was it. That's how simple it was. He killed the kid. He tried to say he was scared for his life. It's funny how they all say that. When they kill, their justification is, well, I was afraid for my life. It's always weird that the ones who be saying they're the most scared are usually the ones that come out on top. You obviously found a way to come out on top. Why were you so scared? And how can you be scared if you're following him? If you just let him keep walking, the further away he gets from you, the less fear you should have, because the fear should leave with him. The further away he gets, the safer you are, my friend. But I don't know, man. You just never know what's going on through these people's minds. But either way, George Zimmerman is a goof. He's a despicable human. He does not deserve to be here amongst the rest of us. I'm not going to say anything horrible. I'm not going to say what I'm thinking, but I want you to know when I look into the camera, what you think I'm thinking is what I'm thinking. I wish that he were ... And you can fill in the blanks. George Zimmerman, ladies and gentlemen, the world's biggest fucking idiot. Anyway, let's jump into this music, man. I gotta take a short break. My blood is starting to boil a little bit, but we're gonna take a one song break and then we'll be back with some more stuff, man. Let's get it. George Zimmerman, world's biggest bum. Yo, Dak Prescott looks like a bum out here. I love it. Dallas is done, man. Season is over after tonight. This shit is crazy. This shit is crazy, bro. They literally had this team picked to go to the Super Bowl. And it's not happening. I want to be a cowboy, baby. You know what's crazy, though? I got this other story I'm finna talk about, where they talk about these two kids who... Jesus, again. Or these two people got shot outside of zoo lights. Let me see, what town is this in? I don't think this was here in Seattle, but this was last week. Washington, D.C. 2 juvenile males were shot outside National Zoo's Zoo Lights exhibit after it closed. Police were already responding to reports that people were fighting at zoo lights. Zoo lights, bro. Why are people getting in fist fights at the zoo lights thing? You're there to look at lights. That is not worth fighting over. Awful. So we definitely gonna talk about that because I think that shit is stupid funny. I mean, it's not funny that they got shot, obviously. It just sucks because obviously we have people who have zero self-control, and you're in a place where it's likely that there are a lot of small children, and you still have people who are starting fist fights and all that type of shit. It's like when you see those videos of people fighting at Disneyland. You know how dumb that shit is? Like, y'all are trying to throw hands in front of a bunch of kids, bro. You look like fucking idiots. And then we got Kid Rock talk. I'm definitely diving into that. Kid Rock, what a bum. I can't stop thinking about that song though. I wanna be a cowboy, baby. I think it's something like that. I don't know. I have a hard time remembering that shit. But yo, we're almost through the first hour of this shit, but I ain't gonna lie to you, cuz they might be listening to a lot of music in this second hour. And that's mainly because, fam, I'm gassed. I'm stupid tired. Let's get it. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. All right, man. The Meemco Jackson Show has returned. We are on Track Talk Radio. It's live Tuesdays and Thursdays. Man, we're about to jump into talk about some bozos, some shit that I listen. I want to make it clear about what parts I think are funny and what parts are not. So it is not funny that people were shot. That part is not funny. But it is funny that the police were already responding to the zoo at the zoo lights exhibit for people fighting. So police were already responding. So the part that is funny is the fact that you guys are fighting at zoo lights. This is in Washington, D.C. The only unfortunate part is that after the exhibit closed, we had 2 juveniles who ended up getting shot outside, which is horrible because it's young kids. And so you never want to see anything happen to kids. But why is anybody fighting at zoo lights? That's crazy to me. Like, is that the place you guys opted to shoot the fade? Yeah, homie, pull up. Oh yeah, where you at, dog? Oh, I'm at the zoo lights. Pull up, dog. You ain't gonna come, dog. Come on, dog. And the next thing you know is blah 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 outside. All because people are being stupid. Because that's exactly what this is. It's just pure stupidity, man. You got little kids, all kinds of shit. Y'all out there shooting and fist fighting. But it says 2 juvenile males were shot outside the National Zoo's Zoo Light exhibit after it closed early due to police responding to fights at the zoo. So they closed the exhibit early because people were getting into fights. So dumb. It was initially reported that the police were responding to shots fired at the zoo, but police denied this, saying that they had a call for fireworks. Later, 2 genuine shootings occurred a block south of the National Zoo entrance shortly after zoo lights closed early. One victim was shot at Biltmore and Calvert Streets. No, they're naming the street side. This is like a local thing. And the other was shot at another location. Both gunshot victims sustained non-life-threatening injuries, thank God. Shout out to those 2 young guys. Hopefully they have a speedy recovery. And they were conscious and breathing when they were found. Oh, shit. So at least like they were laying there, though. Holy shit, man. At zoo lights, wildin'. That shit is crazy, bro. About as crazy as the fact that Dallas is getting beat on Thursday Night Football by the Chicago Bears. And as I'm watching this broadcast on Hulu, the score is 31-14 with about 11 minutes left. It's embarrassing. Sorry, I was taking a pause because they were throwing the ball deep, and I thought Buddy was about to catch it and get another touchdown, so I was going to make sure that I gave you an accurate score. So, you guys remember Kid Rock? Kid Rock is famous for a couple of songs. I think the one is, I want to say that it's Wanna Be a Cowboy. I think that's what it is. Um, he's also in Joe Dirt, which is a classic movie. But a lot of people who know Kid Rock, especially if you're around my age or a little bit older, because Kid Rock is a little bit older, most people know him, and they know that he started out in Detroit as he was supposed to be a rapper, and I think if I'm remembering correctly, I think it ends up being where because he's not that good, he makes the transition to that country type of rock and roll punk type of like genre, whatever he's in. And then he turns into like the cowboy who's wearing Chuck Taylors and stonewashed jeans and, you know, all that type of shit. Um, I don't know. I don't think he's a one hit wonder, but he's not someone that was pumping out like tons of albums if I recall correctly. At least I don't remember him doing so. But lately he's been in the news because he was talking a whole bunch of shit about Oprah apparently, which I thought was weird. Something to do with, I guess he was invited to her show, and I guess they do some like pre-show type of work with all the guests, and he had to fill out something where I guess maybe it gives the impression that they want you to praise Oprah a bunch before you go out on the show. Which that sounds corny, you know, but at the same time, like, it's her show, man. If you want to be on the show, you got to understand that there are certain things that come along with that. One thing you don't want to do is afterwards go to the bar and end up being on tape, but spend a whole bunch of time bashing and talking a bunch of shit about Oprah. And it does come off just based on who he is and what he looks like and the people that he stands behind, because he's a big time Trump supporter, which I brought up the rap thing to get you to understand how weird that was, because we have to understand that rap is a predominantly black genre for the most part, outside of a handful of people. It's not exclusive, but it is mostly that. A lot of that music has always been, that wave has been created and overseen by African Americans, and people view it as stuff that it's just another thing that white people try to steal and reap the benefits off of. So I think a lot of people think Kid Rock is a little bit weird because he spent a large portion of his life trying to reap the benefits, and maybe not large, some of his life trying to reap the benefits of that type of music and all that, but now he's like a anti-minority type of person. I say minority, so I don't like saying colored people. But I think people view, when they see him as being a Trump supporter, they view him as that. I have no opinion about Kid Rock. I think he's kind of lame just because he just seems like the drunk dude that's just always out front of the gas station talking shit to people as they pull up to pump. Like, that's what he reminds me of. Like, he's somebody that I know, like, I feel like if I saw him and, like, the way he acts, if he acted like that in front of me, I could honestly see me ending up, like, having to knock him out probably. Which sounds crazy, but he just seems like an annoying dude. His little stunts that he pulls where he's, like, disrespecting people and all that, the Trump stuff, I don't really care about that because that's just his personal opinion. I think he's a cornball just because of how disrespectful he is, but other than that, he's just somebody who's dumb. He's always drunk when he says all this stuff, or at least that's what people say. They always say that he's, you know, intoxicated and he goes on these rants, and he does it at his concert or he does it at local bars, and he always, you know, they're always filming it. It always seems almost staged, like he wants to gain or rejuvenate his career and take the fame in this very negative capacity and type of way. Because I can't imagine that he firmly believes that this is good for his image. Get on there and bash Oprah. You know, he's tweeting the other day where he's bashing this restaurant that he put money into, and then kind of shitting on the city, saying that he put millions into it and that they're not thankful and all this type of shit. And then now people are having to, you know, basically tell him to shut the fuck up, which is crazy. It's just interesting because it's somebody who has had some success in life. He's been a decent musician, and now he just seems like he's kind of falling apart at the seams. So I don't know. Kid Rock is pretty much a bum. I'm sure he's gonna stay a bum. I don't imagine that he comes out of any of this stuff with any type of, like, I don't want to say good, but better reputation. I think if people didn't like Kid Rock before, they definitely don't like him now. He just looks dusty, and I can't. Does he still make music? I don't think his music is any good. It can't be good because he's not ever in the news for music. It's always just for like all this other shit that he does. But yeah, Kid Rock, ladies and gentlemen, world-class piece of shit. And I'm not even a big Oprah fan, but the way he was disrespecting Oprah, like, bro, we just have to let people know, like, Kid Rock is a piece of shit. That's all there is to it. It is what it is. So he can go be a cowboy baby all by his damn self. He's a bum. Let's see. What else we got, man? We talked about the Kid Rock thing. The George Zimmerman thing is crazy. I know right now we're going through... I noticed on the Hulu there was like a lot of impeachment hearings, and I'm not super well versed on that, but I would assume that if I'm seeing that pop up, that means that and I'm sure the process has been underway for some time, but at least now visibly we're getting to that point where we're probably going to see Trump get evicted from his home, the White House. So I'm kind of hoping that happens, mainly because I think I understand that the job is a 4-year commitment, but it's okay, fam. Like, you can go ahead and go home early, and we got somebody to cover your shifts. You're not needed. And I also did see something I thought was funny. I saw that he was supposed to be at the NATO conferences or meetings or whatever have you. And he had other world leaders caught on tape standing in a circle making fun of him like it was high school. And then he left. He got mad. And that's the thing about him that is so corny, is he's obviously one of those people that he'll spend all day disrespecting people, calling them out their name, and going to his Twitter and bashing and doing whatever. And then as soon as somebody says something to him, then all of a sudden he's in his feelings, which is so crazy. Like, fam, it's your job as a world leader to be at those conferences and those events and all this type of stuff. You can't be mad because there's video of dudes like clowning you pretty much. It's like high school gossip. You can't get mad and then throw a little fit and then leave. That shit is stupid. You're supposed to be the president, bro. You're a joke. You are a fucking joke. Fuggin. For, if you guys are going to quote me. I didn't say fucking. I said fuggin. Fuggin. Well, my man got mad and just left like a little baby. He probably went and cried in the car. Had the Secret Service get the driver ready. My man got in the car, rolled the windows up in the back. That way it's just him so he can have a quick moment. And I bet he sheds tears pretty often. I bet it kills him. He would probably never admit it, but I bet he's so hurt by the amount of hatred that he gets. Because now he knows that he'll never be able to die in peace. Because he'll always be known as that asshole. No one likes him. Nobody. This shit is crazy. But yeah, impeachment hearings, they've been on Hulu. I didn't watch none of them shits. I'll just wait till the thing pops up and says breaking news. The president has been impeached. I'm sure like any major decisions that get made, they have an appeal process. I'm sure he'll probably appeal that shit. I don't know. That's probably not even how that works, but I don't know. It just seems like everything, like shit happens and then it gets appealed. And then it'll happen and they appeal it. Like, that just seems how it looks like that's how things seem to go. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I've also heard that if he does get impeached, that might actually be bad for us, because then the person who takes over is that asshole vice president. I I don't know how accurate that is because I don't remember about that stuff. I mean, I think that's what happens, but I don't know if he's worse, if he's a little bit better. I don't know. I've heard people say that he's way worse, which I'm sure is true. But either way, they both can go suck on each other's thumbs. They're terrible humans, both scumbags, but Trump is just the crybaby one of the bunch. Oh, Trump want a little baby. He's a little baby. Oh. I don't know why I did that, but every time I see his face, and when I saw the little pictures of him at the little NATO conference, I was dying. Bro, he looked like he had just come out of like a back room from crying. You know how like when you're crying and then your mom say, you keep that up, I'm gonna give you something to cry about, and then you like kind of suck it up, but you go out there and your eyes are all red and shit and you're kind of tearing up and you're like like doing all that. Like that's what it looked like he was doing, bro. He looked like he was truly hurt by the fact that those other world leaders and men were just standing there making fun of his scrubby ass. Bro, that's what you get. You're a bum. You spent all that time being on your Twitter and on the news and at rallies and all that, just disrespecting the hell out of so many people. And then when people do it to you, you start crying like a little bitch. Like a little bitch. Stupid funny. So, I don't know. Maybe he'll get impeached pretty soon. Or maybe he won't. I don't fucking know. I don't know anything about that shit. So anyway, man, we're going to take a short, kind of quick break. And then we're going to be right back, man. This is the Me and Cool Jackson Show. I appreciate you tuning in, man. It is Thursday, December 5th. We are live on TrackTalkRadio.com every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Your boy is lit. Hang with me. We got about another 45 minutes, and then we're going to be out until next Tuesday. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. My eyes are getting super heavy, bro. I'm so tired. But probably what needs to happen is I probably need to put my glasses on. And then my eyes won't be so tired. Man. Imagine imagine just being him for a day, being Donald Trump for a day. And just kind of imagine how shitty that is. To know that you're that dude. There we go. Imagine being him for a day. One, you're ugly as hell. Two, you literally don't know what you're doing at your job, and you're a public figure. That's also what makes it so terrible. Ugly as hell, bad at your job, all while being a public figure. I don't know if I could do it, man. Don't know if I could do it. And he's going to go down in history as being probably the most hated person of all time. That can't be fun because you'll never be able to go anywhere. And I'm sure that there's probably some part of him that does not care. I'm sure he does not care to some degree. But there's also a part of me that's willing to bet that he probably does go to sleep most nights stressing and dreading the fact that 90% of America probably just absolutely hates him. And I say 90, that's probably a high number. I'm sure it's closer to probably just about 65 to 70%. I'm sure there's a large amount of people that really love him. That's obvious to see when you see all these rednecks and all these people who are coming out talking about, make America great again, brother. Trump 2020, fuck. We're going to kill some of those black people. You know how they be acting, bro. I don't even feel bad saying that because that's what they say. They say shit like that because they've got balls now that their president is in office. Well, he has been at this point. I think it's been about 3 years now, but it's just crazy to think like this one guy was able to do all of this damage and then convince a whole busload of people that he was about to change their lives and make America great again. Although America's never ever been great. It's crazy, man. A lot of people texting me. Hope you're having a great show. Man, thanks, man. I appreciate it. If you've reached out to me tonight, giving me best wishes about the show, and you're listening or you're watching this video, I appreciate you. I love all of you guys, man. This shit is awesome. I wish I wasn't so tired, man. I feel like my energy levels are low, but for the most part, I'm loving this shit. I'm loving it. So tonight, I tried to get the new donut sticks from McDonald's, right? I wanted to try them out. Just wanted to try them. The McDonald's by the house didn't have them. They said they were out. I'm like, bro, ice cream machine don't ever work. You ain't got donut sticks. And they put lettuce on my bacon McDouble. Lettuce doesn't come on that, bro. It's bacon, the patty, the cheese, the pickles, the onions, and that's it. Since when did they start putting lettuce on the burgers, dog? McDonald's, you got some splaining to do. You got some splaining to do. Yo, somebody's texting me. I think they're listening to the show live, so I gotta figure out what they're talking about. Because I'm looking at their shit and they're saying, this is crazy. I'm like, what's crazy, fam? I don't even know what you're talking about. Oh, shit, man. It's Thursday, December 5th. We are already in the first 5 days of December. This shit is crazy, man. Before you know it, it's going to be 2020. And most of y'all still going to be ugly. Still going to be ugly. I'm thinking, we're going to have to do a whole show about New Year's resolutions. I'm going to have to poll some people. Pause. We'll have to take a poll of people and see what are their best New Year's resolutions. And then we'll take the best ones and then we'll try to encourage those people to complete those goals, and maybe we'll find a way to incentivize it for them. Offer them some prizes or gifts for completing their goals. But they got to do it within the first 2 months of the year. And I'm tired. Oh, supposed to go see Andrew Schultz this weekend. Shout out to my homegirl Katie for hooking that up. You know, old work colleague, one of my real ones. Shout out. We're gonna go see Andrew Schultz, man. He's live in Seattle. I think he's at the Neptune, maybe. I could be totally wrong about that. So sorry if I'm misrepresenting the venue, but he's supposed to be here. I think it's Saturday. I think it's Saturday night he'll be here. Somewhere in downtown Seattle. But my man, if you know anything about Andrew Schultz, he's on a podcast with Charlamagne the God called Brilliant Idiots, and then he's a stand-up comedian. He is stupid funny. Andrew, I'm so sorry if I'm blanking on a lot of the other stuff that you're on. I do not know, and I probably should have wrote it down, but I'm literally giving you this shout out just off the top of my head. So, funny as shit, man. I'm sure the show is going to be fantastic, so I'm excited, man. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. Shout out to Katie. You're hooking it up, man. I appreciate you. Oh, man. What song? They got All I Want Is You by Miguel featuring J. Cole is playing. They've had a bunch of songs playing. I did not shout out any of these songs except the first one, I think. Our first couple, whatever. But I need to start doing that more. The next couple songs that you might hear on the show is probably going to be Tyrese, Signs of Love Making, Dr. Dre featuring Eminem. Not featuring Eminem. Yeah, it is featuring Eminem. Forgot about Dre. I always be forgetting that one. Because he got so many cuts on that one. I be forgetting what all of them are called all the damn time. But shit. Oh, so shout out to my homies that are listening. So they're talking about, the crazy thing they're talking about is the cop fondling the dead girl. Yeah, that shit was crazy. Holy smokes, man. The things that some of these people do, they're freaking disgusting. Disgusting. Oh, hold on, let me text back. That shit was wild. Man, there's only about 5 minutes left, and it's 31-14. This game is over. It's absolutely over. Can't believe it. I love it. All right, here we go, man. All right. We are back, man. We had a short intermission. I didn't even turn the mic off because I figured this would be the one time you guys can hear kind of what we do when we go on breaks. I don't really be doing shit. I just be in here yapping too. So I'm watching this dusty ass Cowboy game. I was talking about the music that was playing, and then what was I talking about? I'm texting one of my friends who's listening to the show. We're talking about crazy parts on the show, and they're talking about the cop fondling the dead girl. That is so weird, man. I don't understand why a cop would abuse his power like that. Just being a whole dirtball. Fondling a girl who's deceased. Crazy, man. Let's see. What was next on the agenda? We had a bunch of stuff, but... Oh, I did see that Terrell Pryor and his girlfriend, we talked about this on the show on Tuesday, because homegirl stabbed him. It sounds like it was like a domestic type of argument. But it sounded like he did get brought up on some type of assault charge, and that she also has one with intent to kill, was attached to one of hers. It's still crazy to me that she was smiling in that mugshot. Crazy. You know how wild you look smiling in the mugshot, because you know they're going to use that when they have to go to court. They're going to go to court. They're going to ask if she's remorseful. I wonder what her response is going to be, because you know they're going to bring it up and be like, well, you didn't seem very remorseful when you had to take your mugshot photo. You were smirking, smiling, whatever they decide to call it. But that shit is crazy. But it seems like he's going to be okay. Good for Terrell Pryor. I hope he makes a full recovery, speedy recovery at that. And I hope whatever type of family drama he has going on with that girl, I hope that shit get worked out, fam. But whatever it is, it's not worth being stabbed over. So, again, hopefully my man has a speedy recovery. And I will keep you posted if we hear any new developments on that story. Because, again, that shit is insane. She stabbed him. She's going to be on an episode of Snapped, bro. Speaking of Snapped, okay. So, I've been on a Snapped binge for the last few days. So, like, when I've had free time, whether that be before or after work, I've been watching Snapped. And some of these stories are so crazy. Some of the excuses that the people will use are crazy. I don't know how many of you actually watch Snapped, but it's fucking crazy. Let me tell you about this one I'm watching today, right? So, the one I'm watching today, this lady and this gentleman, they get married, right? They live in a very small town. Like, population is 750 people. It's one of these towns that's down in the south, and it's just very, very, very small. So everybody knows each other. Everybody knows each other's business. A lot of farmland, a lot of swampland, all that. You know how that shit goes. These people get married. Everything seems fine. And then one random day, they play this 911 call. This lady's freaking out, talking about, my husband tried to kill me. He then calls 911, says, my wife tried to kill me. And then they show her, I guess when the cops picked her up, she's covered in blood. But, like, it's not her blood, it's his. Fam, she tried to kill my man by using a baton, was smacking him in the head. He had no idea. And basically she killed him because he found out that she had been siphoning money out of their accounts and she was using it to gamble. So She assaults him, beats him to within an inch of his life, right? A whole month goes by, and so she's out on bail. So she's gonna have to probably do time for this shit. You assault your husband, whatever the case may be. They no longer share the same dwelling. He's at the house that they used to share. She's staying with some friends, whatever have you. My man goes up missing right before her court date for this little situation where she tried to kill him. He goes up missing. So of course, without a witness, can't really, you can't prosecute. It's tough sledding. So they have to let the shit go. 5 years goes by, fam. So she never goes back to the house, right? So the place where Buddy stayed at, where they lived, it gets sold and it gets passed on. And he lived in a mobile home, where he had a mobile home on the property. So the people who buy the property, they want to build a house on it. So they go in and they move the mobile home. As they're moving the home, it like pulls up some of the ground where it was sitting on top of, and it happens to pull up this blue tarp. And my man had been in there for 5 years, bro. She buried my man's body underneath the house, and would have gotten away with it if the people wouldn't have bought the property and then decided to move the trailer home to make room for a full-size house. It's crazy. And she tried to say she didn't do it. Well, at first she said she didn't do it. And then she tried to say, well, it was just self-defense. Da-da-da-da-da. Like, fam, no, you tried to kill him. And then you actually went back to finish the job a month later. Snapped is crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I think I've said this the last 3 shows. I gotta be very cautious of who I talk to now, because I'm not trying to end up on an episode of Snapped. Can't do it, man. It's too risky. I saw another one today where girl stabbed her baby daddy. It was actually her ex, and somehow they were in the same house partying. And then she hit him with the Philly fake out, like she was pretending like they were gonna sleep together. She said he was too drunk to get the shit going, and she waited till he fell asleep, and then she stabbed him like 20-something times. Like 20-something times, man. It's the father of her child. You know what her reasoning is? So this is crazy, right? So she's already on track to go to jail for some sort of drug possession, or it's a drug affiliated offense. And so she was already probably gonna have to do time. Apparently, when they were at the place partying, Buddy caught her doing cocaine, and so he called her out about it. And obviously, when you're, once you're in the system and you're going through that process of potentially having to go to jail, you're supposed to they expect you to live cleanly. You can't do drugs, you can't do all that wild shit, or they'll try to stack that shit on top of you. So he's getting pissed off, and I guess in that moment while they're arguing, he makes mention of, if you keep doing this, then I'm gonna call the police and let them know, and it'll make your situation worse. So they believe that because she felt some type of way about that she waited until he went to sleep, and then she killed him. So this was crazy. Well, her story, she tries to tell the cops that because her first offense is drug related, right? And they're close to an area where there is cartel activity. She tries to tell the cops that there was somebody that was after her. So she thinks that she was the intended target. The weird thing is she also somehow got away. So she said that the person came in and she couldn't see their face, and then she just ran out of the room. So fam, you ran out of the room and the killer stayed behind to stab up your boyfriend for no fucking reason, but you're the intended target? Wouldn't they just run after you? She has to leave the house to go call 911, right? But drives 6 miles to go call 911, passes a grocery store, passes her own father's house, passes multiple places that have a phone. Also, she can go somewhere else. And then also, when she showed back up to talk to the cops, to act all surprised, like, oh my God, what happened? She's barefoot, and she also, her hair's all wet. And you're probably thinking, well, why does that matter? Because she took a shower to try to wash off the blood that was on her. These people are idiots. And she tried to play it off like it was some intruder. Like, fam, get the fuck out of here. Life in prison. And then she was worried because when he made the threat about telling the cops about what she was doing, a part of that threat was, they'll take you, take the daughter away. And so she killed him. And then they said he had a tattoo on his arm with his daughter's name. And she stabbed in that area and cut on his arm to basically cut his tattoo off. Fam, that's the father of your child. You're doing too much. And then obviously the legal team that defended her tried to say that the drugs had made her crazy. Sorry, man, I don't believe that. She's just an asshole. A selfish asshole. She killed that man for no reason. But anyway, Snapped is crazy. If you have not watched Snapped in your life, you need to check this shit out, man. You'll end up being hooked. It's absolutely crazy. So, one thing I want to talk about real quick, because I made a post about this, and there are some people who, I don't want to say they tried to come for me, and they didn't give me a hard time. It was more so of them. It kind of seemed like they were trying to justify and argue against my point. And this is about this guy, Justin Bieber. Now, I'm not a Justin Bieber fan. I think he has like one song that I listen to, and just because it has a dope ass beat. Lyrics are pretty simple to follow. It was a cool song. But what I know about Justin is that he was one of these kids who came up. We found him off YouTube. When I say we, I mean black people found Justin Bieber. Usher's nieces and nephews at a Thanksgiving holiday get-together found the little guy on YouTube and helped put him on. That has to be made clear so you understand why a lot of people think he's corny for what he does after that. This is when he was super young, because he's one of these guys who was basically like a child star. Mr. playing guitar, and he could sing. He was very talented. I'll give him credit. I'm not a huge fan of his stuff, but he is obviously talented. He has a video, and I get it. It's from when he was like 15. He has a video where he's literally sitting in some chair. It looks like he's doing some interview or whatever. And TMZ has posted this video on multiple occasions. And I think he has so people were telling me that he has a song where it's like One Less Lonely Girl or something like that. But in this little video, he replaces one of the words with the word nigger. So it's Justin Bieber basically saying one less lonely nigger, and he's smiling all big. The video is crazy. Now, people are like, oh my, it was when he was 15, he made a mistake. Oh, you ain't never made a mistake. And you're like, no, listen. I totally get it. People make mistakes. Shit happens. But I think sometimes you're in a place where you already know that shit is inappropriate and you still do it. Now, here is what my problem is with what has happened and transpired over the last few days when I saw this. This article that I saw, because I'm gonna tell you the first line of the post that I made. I literally typed, Justin Bieber can eat his own dick. And people felt that I was harsh about it. But I'm going to tell you why. I think he's corny. And it's all because of this fact. So this thing says, Justin Bieber takes a stand against racism, and he addresses his past use of the N-word. Now, people are like, yo, this video happened when he was like 15. How old is he now? And he's just now addressing the video. So, one of the things that he says, and like I said, I can appreciate it. You're wanting to put your best foot forward. You're saying that you want to take a stand now. Maybe I shouldn't have a problem with the fact that you waited until you were able to, elevate your status, make all your money, and do all these things. You waited years and years and years, And now all of a sudden you want to address your comments and take a stand. So he has a post and it says in big ass letters, it says, "Stand against racism." And it says, "Justin Bieber. When I was young, I was uneducated and found myself saying really hurtful things, not knowing the power of my words." So in that moment, he is absolutely confirming that it's him saying that in that video by saying that. He says, "Racism is still very prevalent, and I want to use my voice to remind we are all human." He didn't even put beings. He said, "We are all human being, singular, and all of equal value before God." And he put it, in those last four words, equal value before God, all capitalized. We are all human being, just one. Maybe that's what he meant. We're all just one. I don't know. Either way, it's not that I have a problem with it. Some of it is just corny to me because I'm looking at it like, fam, why did you wait all this time to finally address the fact that you were being a little shitty ass ingrate and saying the N-word? Why? Y'all remember when he spit on his fans at a concert? That was addressed immediately. But the whole saying the N-word thing, like we gave him a pass on that for 12 years. And now, because he has nothing else to do, he's like, I want to use my powers for good now. After I've already let black people pay me and elevate me and let me steal a lot of their culture and they let me do all these things. Now I want to address the horrible comments I made when I was young. And I want to take a stand. Justin, I will say this, man. There's a part of me that thinks if you were genuine that I appreciate that you want to do that. But then there's also that other part of me that really wants you to eat your own dick because I think you're full of shit, man. I don't think that any of this shit's real. I think it's all publicity. I think maybe you got bored after you got married. Music's not doing so hot, so you're trying to find ways to make yourself relevant. Maybe that's what it is. You can say that you were uneducated all you wanted, but it's weird to me that you would use those words in that video while working for an African-American man as your boss. Usher, your boss, the person who's signing your checks, putting you on, helping you book shows, it's helping you refine your craft and improve your talent. You got him at the driver's seat. You're in his car and you're using those types of words. And then you wait like 12 years to finally come out and be like, oh shit, I was uneducated and I didn't realize the error of my ways. I think it's bullshit, man. You keep pushing to the left, homie. You're kind of a cornball. And if you're truly genuine, then I want all of your actions need to speak louder than your words. You don't need to talk ever again. You better be out doing the absolute most to help fight injustices. You better be doing all them same shits that Kaepernick is doing. You better be fighting with Reverend Al Sharpton. You better be alongside him, not fighting against him. You better be showing up at every NAACP event possible. You better be doing everything, bro. No talking, all action. Because if not, then everything you say is just bullshit. And that's what most people think you are. They think you're just some high-profile celebrity who's, just trying to fake it till you make it, man. You're trying to convince us all that you care, but who knows if you really do? Because you were smiling real big when you were saying the N-word, little boy. And I'm willing to bet it's because in those moments you were thinking, man, this is kind of a cool word to say. Now I see why all the other white kids are so desperate to say it. Y'all really feel like that word just makes you feel like it's like a rush, man. It probably is like taking drugs for white people. Like saying the N-word, doing drugs, probably has the same type of like rush type of feeling. Get your blood going, get you all hyped up. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, man. I have to ask them. But either way, I think Lil Bieber is kind of corny. And if you haven't seen that video, you should check it out. Because I know people were trying to say, well, it's not really that big of a deal. And there was this one person I didn't get into it with. We were just having a little back and forth dialogue. But it was weird because they were like you've never made mistakes in your life. I mean, I've accidentally said fuck you to somebody before. And I'm like, that's not the same thing. Like, you're comparing his use of the N-word and the fact that he wants there to be less Negroes. You're comparing that to looking at somebody in their face and saying fuck you to them. Those are not the same two things, fam. I really hate to tell you, but it's not the same at all. But I think it's weird because, and obviously the person that I'm talking to, I mean, I probably should not have said obviously, but now. Yes, they were white. And I'm not upset with them. I can see what they're doing. You hate to see one of your brethren being in the line of fire, especially if you feel like his intent was not malicious. I'm not saying that it was, because it's not like he was like, look, man, I'm trying to go out tonight and I'm trying to drag a bunch of black people behind some trucks, or I'm trying to do, it's not like he was doing that. That wasn't the case at all, obviously. So I know his intent is a little bit different, but there is so much power within words that, like, when he's saying that type of stuff, man, like, I don't know. It's one of those things where you kind of have to look at it and be like, maybe he wasn't just kidding. Like, maybe this shit is kind of serious. But people are trying to say, well, he's 15. Everybody makes mistakes when they're 15. I'm like, yeah, I get it, but I cussed a lot of teachers out when I was 15. But me saying F you to them is not the same as him in the way he was using that word, especially when he was 15. But he's older now, so I hope for his sake that he has grown up and he's improved and he's learned the error of his ways. If you weren't educated now, you've had plenty of time to educate yourself. And if you have not done so, then it will be easy to find out, that's for sure. That's all I will say about it. We will be able to tell very easily if you have changed your ways or not. But either way, I mean, at this point, he's already been paid. There's not a whole lot we can do. You can't really cancel Justin Bieber now because he's already made $1 trillion freaking dollars. So he can take the money and run and it won't even matter. But until then, man, until I see you doing a whole bunch of stuff, you're still free to eat your own dick. Anyway, look, shit, we through the first hour and a half, man. We're going to run a short little break, and then we'll be back, man. You're listening to the Meaningful Jackson Show. We're on Track Talk Radio, man. It's lit. Man, Cowboys lost. So happy. The Dallas Cowboys suck. They're below 500. They suck. They absolutely suck. Matter of fact, let me text some people just so I can be like, you suck. Them niggas suck. Oh, it's a typo. Them, not them. Texting one of my homies who's a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan. So I just have to be like, yo, them niggas suck. They're going to be upset, but oh well. It is what it is. A bunch of bums. Oh, shit. Let's see. Let's get back into it, man. What else we got? Oh, yeah. We're going to get into the Starbucks thing. I thought this was weird because it seemed like there was a report that said Starbucks had fired an employee because it looked like they wrote pig on the coffee cup of a police officer and gave it to him. And then you find out that there's a whole other side to the story. So it turns out that when you notice the cups, there was somebody who's an employee who came in and said, if you look at the cups, the way that pig is typed on there, that means it was an online order. And that means that the person who ordered the drink is the one who listed the name like that. So they're saying that the cop is actually the one who put it on there, because they said if it was an in-store order, the person would have wrote it on the cup by hand. So I don't know how accurate that is, but if that's the case, that's hella funny, because then that would imply that the whole shit's fake. Another part of the report said that I saw on Twitter that the daughter of the officer came out and said that the whole shit was fake, and she talks about her dad and basically calls him out for being all kinds of, he's like a bigot, he's a racist, he's a sexist, he's all this, and he says that this whole thing is fake and it's just him wanting attention and blah blah blah. And I thought that shit was crazy. Yo, imagine being a cop, being someone of power, and then this is the way that you're trying to abuse it. You try to get or try to drum up some attention to make yourself kind of famous, and you try to use Starbucks to do it. And then your own daughter calls you out for being a freaking idiot. Imagine, bro. That shit would have been crazy. Now, obviously, the internet is outraged because, no one wants to see anybody get fired. Who knows if Starbucks has come out and kind of corrected this situation after finding out what the deal was. But I don't know. It almost seems like it's two different stories, because they had one of the articles that I saw about this, they had a dude's whole picture on there saying that they fired him because they said that he did this shit. So it's hard to tell what's real at this point and what's not. I mean, you look at the sources of where the articles come from, and most if not all of these sources are fairly credible, but it seems like this little story's changing with some frequency, at least in my eyes, because, I've only looked at it this couple of times, but it was pretty interesting, to say the least. But we're gonna jump into that. We're gonna let them listen to this "Forgot About Dre," and then we'll get into it. But man, I'm so happy the Cowboys lost, man. You have no idea. What else we got, man? Fuck, man. Some of these stories I have are stupid old. But they only get old because of the fact that there's something new happening every freaking day, man. It's hard to keep up with this shit. You're only doing 2 shows a week, and then you have different corny shit happening every single day. So then half the time, by the time I'm ready to do my show, the story is basically old and expired by that point. But no, we got some stuff on here. We're not going to be on here much longer anyway, so... Football season's almost over. We're going in the full swing of basketball. Baseball's going to be starting up in a few months. The time is literally flying, bro. I hope everyone's making the most of their time, because life is hella short, man. Like I said, already the 5th of December. Before you know it, it's going to be January 2020, and life is going to be so much different. Sorry, I'm texting somebody who's talking some foolishness, man. I love how people, there's multiple different people today have hit me up being like, yo, what are you doing? Like, it's Thursday, man. We're doing a show. That's what we do every Thursday. This is the 16th episode of this. There's no reason at this point to ask me what I'm doing on a Tuesday or Thursday. You all fucking know. Shit. People act like they don't know. I don't understand that. Stop acting like you don't know. Damn. Cut that shit off, man. cut it off. Here we go, man. We got a couple more things, and then we're going to close out the show, man. I appreciate it if you were still here rocking with me and listen. I know there's a handful of y'all because you're texting me and you're yelling at me or, you know, agreeing with me on stuff or telling me that I sound like an idiot, which is probably accurate. But I love you guys for that. So I appreciate you tuning in, man. This is the Meemco Jackson Show. We are live on Track Talk Radio on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Oh, before I forget, I did tell Sherry that I would promote this event that she is a part of. Let me find it, man. I had a whole flyer queued up, and then my phone cut off, and now it's gone. Let's see. So it looks like this is, I hope I'm saying this right because it's spelled weird. It's either Primer or Premiere. It's the fashion show. Special guests are Track Talk Radio. Music is by DJ Bugsy Beatdown. Doors open at 6 p.m. All ages, but it's 21 and up for the bar. Live performances. We got model runway, clothing line, photographers, and more. I want to say as of, I think it was Wednesday when I asked Sherry about this, she said she had about 5 tickets left, man, because I think this event is basically almost sold out. So if you are looking to, you know, have some fun, when is this thing? This is, I don't even think this has a date on here. It don't even got a date on the flyer. I think this shit is coming up. She's been promoting it for a good little while. So I will repost it on my Facebook page. I'll get her to send me the actual info and the dates of this fashion show. But if you were looking to get a ticket, hit me up, man, and I'm going to connect you with the right people, and they're going to get you all set up. So, and if you want to be a part of this, I'm sure that there might be some opportunities for that. So let me know, and I'm going to connect you with the right people. But shout out to Miss Tag Talk, Miss Sherry. We're rocking it, man. I hope this event goes well. Sherry's even on the flyer. This is lit, man. So it's going to be big, man. These events that she goes to and is in conjunction with and sometimes is organizing, they're all pretty dope. I know she had a domestic violence awareness event, I think it was like a couple months back, and that was crazy. It was lit. So the events just keep coming, man. So shout out to Sherry. Keep grinding. You're doing your thing. That's Boss Lady, always representing. So, man, before we go, let's dive into these last couple of things, man. Oh, I did think this was funny. I love seeing this because this guy played himself so bad. I love seeing Papa John lose. And you're probably thinking like, damn, man, that's harsh. Why you want to see my man lose? And I'm going to tell you, it's mainly because he was acting like a dum-dum. You say all that racist shit, your consumers help put you in the space that you were in. We loved your pizza. Pizza's hella good. But you can't talk to people the way that you were talking. So now, he's been through all that BS, you know, and then he's tried to come back into the fold of Papa John's. They wouldn't allow that to happen. And this is Mr. Shatner, Mr. John Shatner, Papa John himself. Now it says, there is some part of me that does feel a little bit bad. But it says John Shatner's wife of 32 years has filed for divorce. So fam, I don't know what you've been doing throughout this time, but it seems like things have started to catch up to you. Karma is really biting you in the ass whenever the F it feels like it. You lose your job, you lose your stake, you lose your opportunity to go back to your job. And now you're losing your wife, which, like I said, that is the part that I do somewhat feel bad about because I don't know the status of their relationship or his feelings towards her, her feelings towards him. So you never know. But I could see that obviously she's had enough. She's fed up. Maybe he's just not doing right. And most of the time with men, we don't appreciate that shit until it's hella gone. And that's unfortunate. I think that's true with anybody. I know women go through that shit too. You don't appreciate niggas until they're long fucking gone. Then you're upset because you don't have them and now you miss them. And, you know, your new man ain't shit and da-da-da-da. And the last one wasn't as bad as you thought it was. The grass is not always greener, that's for sure. But obviously she's had enough, and so she's wanting to make changes, but it just kind of sucks for him because he's continuing to suffer loss. And I have to believe that that is just karma for being a dick all the damn time and not really treating people right. It's kind of what you get, man. So, let's see. Papa John's International founder John Shatner's wife, Annette, shout out to Annette, hope you get that bag, girl, filed for divorce on Thursday, saying in court records that her 32-year marriage to the pizza mogul is something broken. I don't know that word, too big for me. I want to say it says irretrievably broken. Never heard that word used that way. Sorry, I don't use a ton of big words often. Miss Annette Cox's divorce petition filed in family court and somewhere in Kentucky says Cox, age 59, and Shatner, age 57, have been separated since April 1st. So they probably just been out doing a damn thing. The petition also indicates that the two may have reached a property settlement agreement. Okay, baby, take all of it. Neither Shatner's spokespeople nor Cox's lawyer immediately responded to requests for comment. I don't know. Most of this stuff is boring, but I just thought it was funny, and it's just one of these articles we're closing out with because I like to see this guy lose because he deserves it. You act like an idiot. You act like you're above people. You're above consequences. This is what happens to you. You bum. You start to lose. That's why some of y'all got to remember to play the game right. If you play the game properly, you won't take so many L's. But not everybody listens to that. So shout out to Annette Cox for doing the damn thing. Like I said, I hope she gets that whole bag. Do the same thing what's her name did to Jeff Bezos. Take all of that. Or take the lion's share. So take 51% if you can get it. 51% if you can get it, man. Well, it's been a pretty live show, man. We talked about a lot of stuff. Dove deep on some things. Man, I don't know. I'm sure by the time I'm done with this, and then by the time we get to next Tuesday, there will be so many new things that have had happened. And we will be reviewing all types of topics. I'm going to be talking all kinds of BS. Because that's just what this show is, man. Shout out to you if you've been listening, if you've been sticking with me. I hope for some of you, I hope my voice was so soothing that it put you to sleep and you feel like you can wake up tomorrow refreshed and tackle the day and, just bask in the glory of all the success you're about to obtain on a Friday. And then shout out to the fact that it's the weekend. I hope everybody made it through the week with minimal wear and tear and stress. Hope you're feeling good going into your weekend. And it's a holiday month, man. So just remember, even if this week and next week is hard, at least the week after that, you're going to have plenty of days off. Or maybe it's I think it is the week after next. You have plenty of days off, and then we go into the new year. So, hey, everything is all about fresh starts. So, I want you guys to enjoy the weekend. This is the Meanquil Jackson Show. We'll see you back on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's going to be a lit show, man. So, I appreciate y'all. We're going to let a couple of songs close us out. So, we got some Rich Gang. We got that, and then some Alessia Cara might play, and then if we have some time, we'll get into some August Alsina. But if not, then, like I said, we'll start off with that shit next week, man. But I'll see you guys on Tuesday, man. It's all love. Again, have a great and blessed weekend, and shout out to you and your loved ones. Hope y'all have a great Thursday evening. It is December 5th. Man, it's almost 2020. Get ready to be lit, man. It's going down. Man, I had to roll myself out of here, man. That's it for me, man. I'm closing down the shop. We're going to let the music play. I'm going to see y'all next week, man. I'm out of here.